Hello, you little bastards. You've made it just in time for the vocal minority with Nick and Steve, a la Brewski. If it's your first time tuning into the podcast,
welcome to the show.
You'll soon realize that Nick is very decent and just about as sweet as cherry pie.
Oh.
He's one of few that has never done anything wrong.
There's a big part of me that likes to help elderly people across the street. Only I take them about halfway. Okay, and then I just leave them there. I find I'm still doing more than the average person, so it is what it is.
Steve is a guy that's exceptional, exceptionally horny. You definitely wouldn't want to have him around your mom if she's hot, but you will want him at every party. Who brings their mom to a party anyway? He's about as loyal as one person can be, and he loves his female fans.
Oh, I do. I got a fan under the desk. I got a big one over here off to the side blowing me off the camera.
Steve Harness!
How do I even begin to tell you about Brewski? His mind is a vault of semi-useless information. Useless until you need it. It's at that very moment that his oddly overgrown brain will seduce you like Fabio and low-calorie butter.
It's time for another brewski. This one is a crazy brewski.
You're right, dude. We get it.
Someone get me some Cheetos!
Can we please move on, dude? You're right, okay?
Let's get the podcast going, shall we? Ladies and gentlemen, it's the vocal minority with Nick and Steve.
Welcome to the podcast. It is the Vocal Minority with Nick and Steve. All of Brewski. Don't leave off that little tidbit. Wouldn't quite be the same show without that evil, maniacal, joyful, intelligent bastard we call Brewski.
It's fair. It takes all three of us to make this magic happen. So
That's right.
glad we're all back yet again. Can I just say I love coffee? I just freaking love coffee because it's what I'm living on right now. It's keeping me motivated.
Yeah, I love coffee too. I got coffee for my birthday, and I don't think Rachel thought it was going to be that great of a present, but I was like, I really like that. You got me coffee. That was like pretty awesome. So
I have to be on something that starts with the letters C and O. So it's either coffee or Coke. There's something that's got to keep me going in this world, and I'm going to go with the coffee. I didn't work in the Trump White House, so you know.
I was like, coffee or cock? Jeez, you've never mentioned it before.
I suppose there's a few options you could fill in there. So, yeah. Thevocalminority.net. Hey, that's our website. We're on social medias. And now you can call us and you can leave a comment, a suggestion, profanities. I don't care. What's that phone number, Nick?
That's 844-48-VOCAL, where you use your telephone as a microphone.
Out of sight.
Yeah, could be.
And I must say, I don't know if I appreciate our show open, that you should be keeping me away from hot moms. There's an implication that it's like your mom.
Yeah, you can't. Oh, well, I mean, you can hang out with my mom, but you can't seduce her.
Really?
Like, yeah, I wouldn't like it. I mean, you could have dinner. Yeah. Here's the thing: you can't hang out with my mom alone. All right, that's my rule.
So Nick, you wouldn't like me as your new stepdad?
No, dude,
right?
I wouldn't acknowledge either of you as a stepdad.
Oh, come on, son.
Listen, Brewski and I are both older than you, so it'd be okay mathematically.
If I acknowledge you as a stepdad, you have to support me financially and emotionally. Okay, that's my only thing.
Listen. I'll buy you a carton of Newports a month. How's that?
That's nice, dude. I appreciate it. Yeah. What am I going to do with the other 3 weeks? You know.
Now, listen, if I'm your stepdad, can I still gossip with you about the woman I'm banging, or is that getting weird?
That's
probably
weird,
not.
dude. Yeah, I'm not. I'm out. I'm pulling from this conversation. You guys talk amongst yourselves. I can't even think about that, dude.
We will have both been breastfeeding from the same person.
Somewhere, let me assure you of this, you asshole. Somewhere,
you started this.
My father is, giving you the fist from up in the universe.
Listen, your dad wants your mom to be happy. I make a lot of women happy. I mean,
he doesn't want her to be happy, dude.
I'm just saying, people have called me a motherfucker before, and I'm like, yeah, that's fair, actually. So I'll own that.
You have.
Hey, listen,
a lot of moms.
Yeah.
I've fucked moms, grannies, aunts.
Exactly. It's a big family tree. You might as well shake a few fruits loose.
Hey, listen, there might have been a couple of 70-year-old ladies here and there. It happens.
Hot granny sex.
Yeah, Brewski loves it, dude. I always get a thing when I'm looking at porn. You know, it's so funny to me that the ads that come up while I'm looking at porn, because for a long time, and I was also getting emails. So I'm assuming, do you get emails we use XN, or Steve and I use XNXX to look at porn. It's the only website I go on anymore.
Oh, good.
Because it was recommended as safest. Okay,
And you're a discerning porn watcher.
Yes.
yeah, that's right. Thank you, Brewski. But I still get emails, like especially my radio station email, just fills up with bullshit. And it's every time I look at porn, it seems like I get new, different ones. Is that true for you guys?
It's interesting, actually, because you and I have the same radio station email accounts, and I get a ton of spam every day. It's primarily because both of our email addresses are on the website, so all of these bots have just scanned it. We're in countless databases now for spam emails.
Yeah.
But out of 100 emails I may get every day that are spam, maybe one of them is porn related, and I don't understand why I don't get more of that. I don't think it has anything to do with XNXX or whatever, because otherwise I should be getting nothing but porn emails, but I very rarely get them.
Yeah, I told you guys a long time ago on the podcast, for maybe 3 months, I was just getting spammed daily, like tons of emails about you can't get it up, you need help getting a boner, and I don't know why that would show up when I'm looking at porn. I have a boner right now.
Sure.
Listen, I work hard, I play hard. I always have a boner. Okay, that's what I'm saying. But
I want to see a doctor about that, but okay.
Now, the ads that I see on the side of my porn as I'm watching them, the live ads, are all for would you bang a grandma? Would you bang an ugly woman? There's hot women in your area that just want to fuck.
That does go along with what you've been saying about getting messages from AARP.
You think that's what it is?
Maybe it's my age.
Yeah,
the granny thing. Yeah, think about it. You were just saying that you've been getting all this AARP stuff coming to you, and now you're getting the whole granny thing.
Yeah.
See, I just assumed that was porn fetish stuff, but you're right. Maybe they are targeting us. Ew, I don't like that.
Maybe so. I've never I've never signed up for like a Pornhub or an XNXX. I've never logged in.
Well, they're scanning your face with your phone camera, so they know who you are.
Have you searched sexy grannies or anything like that? Are you sure?
Yeah, I haven't, dude. It's
listen,
not.
I search it. I search it often myself, so it's okay. You can admit it. So
what about MILF though? Does that ever come up?
Oh, I love a great MILF. I love MILF porn. Yeah.
So, but that would indicate that we're on the older side too, maybe. So I don't know.
I think there's a lot of guys in their 20s that would like to bang a MILF, to be honest with you.
Sure.
Listen, guys in your 20s, first of all, MILFs at this age, they know what they like, and a lot of them are in the prime of their sexual desires and activity.
Now, listen, I've been banging almost exclusively moms for the last 20-something years of my life. And I would say the one mom the one non-mother I was with was the worst of all of them. So MILFs get a thumb up from me.
And if they've hit menopause, even better.
Right. And I'm a filth. You know what I mean? I'm a father. Hopefully they'd like to fuck. So the MILF and the filth going together.
Yeah. I wonder if that is a category. Do you think there's women who
I don't know what women are into out there, but I'm starting to wonder if this whole discussion is going to eliminate any from my life. So
we'll see, dude. If it does, red flag. Come on, dude. This is what Rachel told me. She came home last night. She's preparing for trial, so I've seen very little of Rachel that I can have a conversation with because her head is filled with so much stuff she's got to do right now.
Sure.
She comes home last night. She tells me this. One of the other attorneys that she works with from time to time said, "Oh, I've been listening to your husband's podcast."
Uh-oh. Yeah.
And I said, is she starting with recent, or did she go back to the beginning? And she said she went back to the beginning. I was like, I said, I'm sorry. And she said, you know what she told me? Your husband said his balls are cold. Why? And Rachel was like, he's not shared that with me, but she was like, is he telling the truth? Like, is that truthful? She said, if he said it on the podcast, yeah, I mean, I can see that he may have said that. It's got to be true. So, yeah, some of her coworkers are listening to the podcast. I didn't think that went through. Completely. I said, why are you telling people that I'm podcasting? You don't want the crossover. She was like, it is what it is. You're not me. I was like, okay, well, I appreciate the support.
I don't know. It's a fun little struggle I'm having. I already brought this up with this current woman, and she, of course, immediately was like, I want to listen to the podcast. Let me hear.
Do you think she's listened yet?
I don't think so. I mean, I told her that, hold on, slow your roll there a little. Like, I gave her the basic spiel of the show is kind of like my diary, and that's not a real fair thing. So why don't you get to know me personally a little bit more, and then I'll unleash you on it. But she's definitely curious, which I can understand and respect. The town she lives in, I've not seen a new dot pop up on the map, but that doesn't mean she hasn't found it elsewhere. I told her the name of the show inadvertently, like I just let it fly. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I got to have a little talk with someone because, as we've said before, we keep it real on this show, but it is an amplified version of ourselves, and it's a no filter version of our thoughts too.
You don't have to worry about bringing me to a dinner party with your coworkers and me having these same conversations of trimming my pubes or
exactly. And I've worried about Rachel before because she's a professional woman with a professional career, and we don't want to do anything that would besmirch that in any way, shape, or form.
No.
And same with this woman I'm, just started dating now. Like, she's got a real career and a real life. Like, I don't need to be the embarrassment. But it creates a situation where, we're at the cocktail mixer and someone's like, well, what do you do? I just have to say, like, I work in audio production. I I do some audio stuff, like, just to the radio side, because I almost feel like this show blew up on me so badly in my previous relationship that I almost feel like this is as if I'm a porn star. Like, just don't tell anyone. Don't tell your friends, coworkers. Don't let them follow me on Facebook. Just, this is a dark secret.
Yes, and if they find it on their own, that's one thing. But if they go to I want to listen to Little Steven, I want to hear his show, and they don't know what they're expecting or in for, it's not gonna be good. So just I tell everyone that I don't want to listen to the podcast, that I'm in audio production. What do you do? I'm in audio production.
Maybe we should do a second show that's all us, like, reading Bible verses or something. We just tell everyone, we tell certain people, hey, that's a show. Go listen to that.
Can we just read, like, Winnie the Pooh books or, I don't know, Dr. Seuss or something like that?
Yeah, The Cat in the Hat. We could do that. That's not a bad idea.
There's something to be said for somebody tolerating and understanding what we're doing, but it's hard to extrapolate that to their children, their parents, their coworkers. That's a big ask. We'll see.
I remember somebody asked my dad if he listened to me on the Vocal Minority when we were on the radio side of things, and my dad made a comment of, once. I was like, yeah, boy, you knew it wasn't for you, and you turned around and walked out of the room. That's all I can ask for. So once he listened, and that was enough for him. That was enough to support me and enough for me to not want you to listen to this, because I don't share this stuff with you. You're my dad, so. Yeah.
Exactly. And I've had to tell my mother to stop listening to the show already. And I've warned my kids, like, I'm doing you a favor by keeping you from the show, because there's information you don't want to know about your father.
Oh,
It's one of those things you can't unhear or can't unsee. So trust me, just stay away.
So I wish you good luck with a woman. That's tough. For those of you who have tuned into this podcast and know exactly why you're here and what you're going to get, we welcome you to the program, and call our comment line, please, 844-48-VOCAL.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, we're doing this for you people. It creates quite a problem in our actual personal lives, but we're doing all of this open and honesty for the audience out there. So I hope all 73 of you appreciate it and go tell some bastards. So, the vocalminority.net. We're on all the social medias. We got some good stuff there, so go post. And And all of us are in different states and cities. We're all spread around the country, the three of us on the show anyway. So it's been quite a while since I've been to anyone. I mean, Brewski, I've never been to your house. Nick, I haven't been to your house since we both turned 40. And even before that, it was few and far between since we've lived apart now for 17 years or something. But,
yeah, it's been a long time. I think that was your only visit in 17 years, wasn't it?
It's a good question. How long have you been in that house for? Because the last time I was in Seattle before that, I think it was when I lived there. So, yeah. I probably never.
No, because I've only been here for, going on 8.5 years.
Yeah, and we were talking last episode or 2 episodes ago or something about cleanliness at our houses and what would we do if somebody just spontaneously stopped by. And now I'm walking around my house like uber paranoid. Now that I have started seeing someone new, like I'm like, boy, the usual things of like snot on my bathroom mirror, like that's an obvious thing I got to make sure is cleaned up. But now I'm just walking around here going like, man, I got to replace that shower curtain. God, that front doormat is just raggedy. Like, God, should I put a paint of coat in here? It's driving me a little bit batty analyzing it all. But I found an article this week about etiquette when you visit somebody's home, which I feel like this was a big deal when I was in like middle school or something. But I don't know. Is this a concern still nowadays? Like, are we not all mature enough to just be a good person in someone else's home?
I mean, there's that's a relative thing, right? I mean, to be a good person. I think we were talking about last week on the show that I cut my toenails and watch them dehydrate, and
which I have not forgotten about that yet. By the way, that's kind of haunting me a little bit.
Something that is so normal to me is so haunting to you. So, I mean, that's everything's relative of what I'll do in your house and what I won't and what I think is okay and what's actually not. You know what I mean?
Well, some people actually need to be told not to do certain things. You would think that they would just already know. I mean, come on, who knew that like jerking off in somebody's grandma's bathroom was a bad thing to do, Well,
if you clean up properly, I think you're probably okay. But, we had talked about, too, on that same episode about the fact that we all have some level of sensitivity about our homes because Nick may leave toenails on his bedside table and I may have boogers on my bathroom mirror. But in the grand scheme of the people I've seen in this world, we are all good, clean, cleansly people. Some people are just absolute freaking pigs out there. I mean, you would be shocked and disgusted by it. Yeah. So you're right. So let's run through this list. And I'm curious to know if these are all like duh to us, of course these are things, or if there's any wiggle room here, because maybe there is.
Yeah, there may be. So let's hear it.
The first one on the list, I actually find debatable. Going into somebody's home, not removing your shoes. Now, in many cultures and households, it says removing shoes is a sign of respect and cleanliness. I know that's big in the Asian culture, obviously, but there's a lot of cultures that don't have that at all. And I don't know. Do you automatically remove your shoes, or do you just simply ask?
I usually ask, do you want me to take my shoes off? And then they'll tell me, yeah, I wish you would. Or, no, it's fine. Come on in.
Also, sometimes when you go to enter someone's home, if you go to walk by the front door and you see lots of different shoes there, that's kind of a sign that maybe we need to take our shoes off as we're entering.
Yeah, I don't think it's implied that you should just take your shoes off in everybody's home. I think some people are okay with it.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I don't want you to take your shoes off. I don't want you to put your feet up on my furniture or anything like that, but without taking your shoes off. But walk around my house with your shoes on. That's fine.
Yeah, I feel bad asking people to take their shoes off. I mean, I clean the house and keep it like I would prefer you did in a lot of ways. But if you're just coming over to visit, no, make yourself at home and I'll run the vacuum after you leave.
Yeah. Do you take your shoes off when you go in your house?
Oh yeah, I do for sure. Yeah.
I don't. No, because my room is downstairs, so and I'm not going to leave all my shoes upstairs. I mean, I wear slippers around the house, so when I come home, I will take my shoes off, and I wear slippers. My sister walks on in bare feet all the time,
and I have house shoes. So when I
house
come
shoes,
in,
slippers, same thing.
Yeah, so I'll enter my house and not take my shoes off, but then when I get up to my bedroom, I put my house shoes on.
I'm wearing mine right now. I have some decent ones. These are my Uggs.
Oh yeah, those are
slippers
nice.
Or house shoes.
Those are slippers.
Yeah, okay.
The same slippers, house shoes. It's the same thing. There's different names.
Here's the other problem. What if you take your shoes off and create a different problem because you got stanky ass feet?
Oh, yeah. Aren't you dealing with something like that right now?
Yeah, my teenage son, has got some stank on his feet. So, and this is something that bothers me because he comes in the house and, this time of year we're tracking in snow and whatever else. And he'll throw his feet up on, like my lazy boy that's got a little footrest thing. And I'm like, dude, take your shoes off. Like, stay a while, right? Like, put them down. But then he takes his shoes off. I'm like, did an animal just die in here? What in the world is happening?
The only time I've ever smelled feet like that was also on a teenage boy, and when he would take his shoes off, the whole house smelled. They smelled so bad. I've never had an issue with stinky feet, and the only time I think I ever have is when I was younger and I would wear like Converse with no socks. Sometimes, I'd get a little stank foot going on, but I don't have stinky feet anymore. I just don't. Sorry.
What about when I show up to your house in the summer in what Brewski would call men's summer footwear? Am I supposed to take my flip-flops off in your house and walk around barefoot? Which is the bigger offense?
I don't ask anyone. I don't want anyone to take their shoes off. If you want to, you can.
I don't necessarily mean you. Like, if I show up in someone's home and I have flip-flops on, should I ask, like, do you want me in the flip-flops or in my bare feet in your house?
I'll tell you this, dude. There have been times that I've been, like, taking a piss in a grocery store bathroom and just noticing all the piss on the floor and knowing that, I'm going to walk into my house tonight with these. And so there is that aspect that grosses me out about it. It's like eating meat. I try not to think about the poor cows. You know what I mean? But I don't want you to walk around really with your bare feet either. I don't like that.
I've never had a foot fetish with women, but I have an anti-foot fetish with some of them because some of them, like, the bunions and calluses and all that stuff. It's like I just don't need to see that. It's like a woman taking a dump. I don't need to see it. Okay, just take it away from me.
So speaking of women's feet, and I mentioned this because you're somebody single like me who has been on dating apps. Sure. Have you noticed that a lot of women post pictures of their feet in their dating profiles?
Yes, the woman I'm dating right now did.
I don't get it. Why? Can you ask her when you get a minute, and as long as you think it's not going to anger her or anything like that, why she felt like she needed to put a picture of her feet? Like, you're trying to fill up all this, like, it needs 4 pictures. Well, what else do I put on there? I'll put a picture of my feet. I've heard women say, well, I have cute feet. No feet are cute. None. Yeah.
No, you make a very valid point. You only get so many pictures on these dating apps. And why did you feel the need to put the feet one? Now, I understand what she was trying to do. This was like, she was on like a hammock on a beach, and it was one of those like, look at me relaxing sort of pictures. But somehow that made the top 4 or whatever list. So it is interesting. But no, I've noticed that on a lot of women's dating apps. I don't know what that means to them. So when I get comfortable enough, perhaps I'll ask.
Yeah.
There seems to be a prerequisite that you have to have one picture of you in a bathroom mirror. You have to have one picture of you in the front seat of your car, one picture of you with kitty cat ears or some stupid Instagram filter, and then, one picture of your feet relaxing on a beach or whatever it is.
No, and the alternative is you on a motorcycle, you in the studio perhaps, and one of them's got to be a dick pic, dude. In my top 4, I'll just put my penis on there.
According to any woman I've been with previously, any picture of me is a dick pic. So, Thank you. I'm a nice guy, everybody. All right. I just choose bad women. All right, moving on the list here of etiquette, things not to do at somebody's house. Boy, this seems implied, but what do I know? Snooping around. Privacy is a fundamental aspect of somebody's personal space. Snooping indicates a lack of trustworthiness and invasion of the host's personal life. Yeah, no shit.
I would think that that's probably true. I will make a confession that there was a time in my life that if I was in a bathroom of somebody's house that
I was just going to ask that. Yeah.
That I wanted to know more about, that I'd take a peek around. That was in my younger days, and maybe that was a flaw, but I think that is the easiest place to snoop a little bit, to try and gain some intel on who you're with or who you're seeing, But as far as like, I would never, the last time I stayed at your house, you had me stay in the master bedroom, You know, my wife was there. I would never snoop through drawers or something like that in someone's house. But somehow, to me, the bathroom seems to be a little bit more okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's why I was going to ask you guys about it, because that is a somewhat common thing that I've heard a lot of people say. And I think kind of like that woman we talked about the last episode that spent 2 years in a bathroom and the toilet seat grew into her skin. Like,
yeah.
People seem to feel there's some level of privacy and secrecy inside a bathroom to do whatever they're going to do. So I get it, but that's also a giant catch-22 because you don't really know what you're going to discover in there as far as could have been a medication someone was on 5 years ago. I mean, I don't clean my bathroom out all that often, so you would find multiple years of ailments worth of medicines and creams or whatever it is.
You make a valid point, dude. I'll tell you what, this is the last bathroom I snooped in, okay? It was had to be like, I don't know, 16 years ago. I went into an ex-girlfriend's house, and we were just meeting to have conversation. Hadn't seen each other in a while. I went into her bathroom and snooped, and I found herpes medication. And it was I looked at the date, like she was taking that shit now.
Yeah.
And I had to go back out and continue to have conversation for the next hour or so, knowing like, oh shit, you got herpes, huh? And I'm not gonna say it, right? But it was in the back of my mind. I was like, I can't look in bathrooms anymore because it is very invasive, you know.
Yeah. And the whole snooping through somebody's drawers, it was kind of like I said that I don't want my kids to listen to the show because you're going to learn things about me you just can't erase. And I would have the same concern snooping through any of your drawers. Like, I have a high level of respect for you both. So I don't want to stumble onto something that's going to take that down a notch or make me wonder what's going on. And same thing, that toy could be from 3 women ago, and she was into that thing, but now it's just still sitting there collecting dust. I mean, who knows? But
you're right, dude. Totally, 100%. I would feel so much different about a bedroom drawers or something like that, but it's all bad. In fact, so much is so that my bathroom, if I have, like, oh, my brother's getting ready to come for a week, there's not much. I don't think there's anything my brother doesn't know about me, but I will take certain things out of the bathroom, you know, that I know, you know, he's going to, because if he does snoop around, there's some things he shouldn't say. Right. And just tame stuff too. Like today, I had a big bottle of lube in the bathroom, and I just took it out because not that I'd be embarrassed of it, but he doesn't really need to see it. You know what I mean?
Yep. It's funny. When you stayed in my bedroom a couple of years ago at this point, I cleaned out the toy drawer in the bedroom. Not because I thought you were going to go snooping, but it's just like, what if you needed a drawer to put your glasses in at night or something? You just innocently open my bedside. You know, I feel like if it's layered, if it's underneath stuff, then it's on you to go snooping. But if I don't make it obvious when you open a drawer, that just seems like, you know, etiquette to me as far as somebody staying in your space.
Yeah. I think it's kind of polite to do it, dude.
Yeah. Did you guys used to snoop in your parents' bedrooms? Because I did.
Couple times, yeah.
Yeah. And so, you know what's so funny, though, is I have 2 teenagers. I don't hide anything. It's the same thing. Like, if they're snooping and they want to open a drawer, like, you're going to discover stuff you don't want to know about your father. So that's on you.
Yeah.
But I've made no effort to really bury it deep by any means, so.
That's interesting, dude, because I snooped, you snooped, Brewski snooped. I never, ever thought for a second about the fact that your kids may snoop.
Yeah.
And probably have. You think?
That's a great question. I feel like they haven't, but that seems like a naive statement for me to make, given that I did, you did, like everyone seems to have. So,
yeah.
Right.
Can I tell you a funny story? I wrote a letter to a family friend when I was in maybe like the 5th or 6th grade because I was snooping in my sister's room and I found her bowl of pot.
Yeah.
And I was just like, my sister's on drugs. I don't know what to do. I need help. I'm going to reach out to a friend of the family. My sister, she's on narcotics. Like,
that is hysterical, dude. Did they write back to you and tell you to take a chill pill, bro?
The funny thing, man, they never did. Wow. Like, I know they got the letter. So I don't know if they just decided, like, we're just not going to address this. Or I don't know if they said something to her, but it never came back to me.
Wow. That's funny, dude.
I feel like a total narc now.
Complete narc. Yeah.
What's worried about my sister? All right, so these are things you're not supposed to be doing when you go to visit someone else's house. Again, this one might be a little bit debatable. Bringing an extra guest with you without asking ahead of time.
Well,
Yeah, no, that's so dead class A, dude. I mean, I wouldn't do it. Would you?
It's a good question. I mean, 9 times out of 10, no, but it depends. If there was, a neighborhood mixer going on, or somebody's like, hey, I'm having a Super Bowl party, and then I bring a date with me, or a buddy calls me and is like, I'm not doing anything for the Super Bowl. I'm like, hey, there's a party, come on. I would probably ask ahead of time, but the answer better be yes. If I'm saying, like, I'm just bringing a friend with me, it's a party already. Is that a problem? Like,
yeah. I think it's a must ask. I would like to be asked. I'll always say yes, unless it's somebody that, I know and hate. I'll be like, no, don't bring that douchebag over here.
Yeah, what's worse, though, me putting the pressure on you ahead of time, where you have to say yes if I'm asking you politely, or just showing up? Like, what's the difference? You were going to say yes either way.
I want to be prepared. I don't like a surprise, dude. And maybe you don't know that I hate that person. So you should have asked me, dude,
So would you say no then if I called up and I'm like, hey, I'm bringing George with me and you hate George? Like,
yes.
Would you tell me no?
Yes, dude. I'd say don't bring that dick over here, dude. I don't want to see him. You can come over, but don't bring George with you, dude.
Wow, that's D-Class A. You're vetoing my +1. Wow.
Yes, dude. This is my castle, dude. If I hate George, I'm not going to have him over.
well, what if George was bringing, some extra beer or a sack of weed or something like that? Does
gas, grass, or ass? No one rides for free. That's just being polite.
I guess so. Yeah, absolutely.
I can recall a party or two in my early 20s where it was like, who's this guy you brought? I'm like, he's got a bunch of weed. Oh, like, oh, okay, he can come in.
Right. Yeah. That makes a difference, dude. My mom always told me, don't show up empty-handed. That's so rude.
Exactly. That is a good question, by the way. When do you bring something? I understand if somebody invites me over for a dinner party or something, I should bring a bottle of wine or a dessert or something.
Yeah.
But every time I'm going to your house, am I supposed to bring something?
No,
not.
I mean, not like the three of us seeing each other. No, not like that. But if when I go to Dan and Terry's house, I usually don't see them. Now life is so busy. I see them once every 2, maybe 3 every 3 months. I bring something. But if I'm just like us, just chilling, I'm going to stop by or whatever, I don't bring you anything.
What about a date? I'm running into that situation. So if a woman invites me over to her house, I want to understand if she says, hey, come over to my house and let's cook here, then I should probably bring something or discuss ahead of time. Can I get half the menu or something? But
yeah,
otherwise, if you're just going over to, hang out and watch a football game together, like, do you bring
a bag of chips at least? You know what I mean? That doesn't take a minute to stop it up.
Fritos.
Yeah, seriously though, I mean, if you're going over to watch a football game or something, yeah, bring a bag of chips or something,
When does that wear off?
If you're talking like a date type thing, and it's not you're making dinner or whatever, you could bring something. Maybe bring a little cookie or something, something like that over. Or you could still bring a bottle of wine or a 6-pack of beer, or whatever the case may be.
Well, here's a question. What about those people who participate in a little act that I like to refer to as show beer?
What is it?
Show beer is when someone shows up with really crappy, shitty beer, and they say they basically bring it to show that they brought beer, and then they proceed to drink all the good beer the rest of the night, ignoring the shitty stuff that they brought.
Yeah, that's
funny.
Not good.
Yeah, that's tricky. My neighbor just helped me out with some snow blowing because they have a really nice snow blower that can cut through anything. And, he came in to help me with the berm, as we call it around here, when the big snow plow pushes snow in front of your driveway. Uh-huh. And I said to him, I'm like, dude, I so appreciate it. Like, well, what's your favorite beer? And he was like, I don't drink beer. I was like, what's your favorite wine? He's like, I don't drink wine. I'm like, pot? Like a yoga mat? What am I supposed to get for you? Like, this is a problem now. I'm trying to do a nice gesture, but now I got to interview the person to figure out what they like and don't like. So what do I do with that?
With your neighbor? I mean,
yeah, or anyone. If you're going to a house party, how do you know if they drink or don't drink? What do you know? What if they hate red wine? Like, is it just the gesture that counts?
This is where my mom steps in, all right? Because she always shows up with something. You could bring something like a candle or a small house plant, something like that. If it's somebody that you don't know,
yeah, exactly.
You could bring an orchid. Yeah, I bring an orchid. A lot of the times I'll pick up an orchid and bring it to you, and that's just what else are you going to bring to your neighbor? Come on, you buy him a can of gas. I don't know.
Well, you could bring, in this case, the guy's already told you he doesn't drink. But as far as somebody not liking red wine or something like that, if you bring a bottle of red wine and they don't drink red wine, that's not a big deal because you brought that wine over there. And they can always use that for when they go to someone else's house. Right. Show up and say, hey, look what I brought you.
That's where the thought that counts. I get it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm bringing my neighbor a houseplant. I just find that funny now.
Yeah.
You should, dude.
Get some geraniums or a spider plant or something.
You're something for you to take care of. Have fun.
A jade. Or bring them a succulent like a jade or a cactus because you don't have to water them very often. Yeah. Minimal maintenance.
100%. Brewski, I usually, when I go, will bring a succulent or an orchid. That's just what I bring to people,
Oh. All right. Well, we're running down lists of etiquette, and I think we're already finding some nuance here. So this is a good discussion. Let's see here. I mean, if you're invited to a dinner party, they say it's bad etiquette if you're glued to your phone the whole time.
Yes.
No shit, right?
Yeah, that's stupid, dude. Of course it is.
I mean, I understand checking on your phone here and there, but if you're glued to it while you're at a social event, that's the person you should just weed out of your life.
No, just put it away entirely. Don't check it. It's one thing if you think that you might get a message like from your babysitter about your kids.
Yeah.
That's one thing. But if you're sitting there scrolling the internet and shit like that, you're at a social function. Be social.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even if it's just a one-on-one friend, like I didn't invite you over here to scroll through your phone. Yeah. Like we're supposed to be interacting and stuff. So yeah, I'd be bummed about it.
Now, what if I have a porn addiction? Is it okay to scroll little porn when I'm at a dinner party? I mean,
I don't think so, dude. I don't think that's right. I don't think you. Do you have a porn addiction? Are you finding that?
I'm just asking for the audience. Some people have, so I'm just trying
excuse yourself to the bathroom and do it there.
That's right.
Oh, so while I'm inspecting your old medications, I can jerk off in the bathroom.
Well, if it's herpes cream, just use that to jerk off with.
Or you can use Aquanet, but you got to be quick, right?
Right.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to get herpes from the herpes cream. That's how it works, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm no doctor, but I think that's how it works. So. All right, here's a good one, though. Okay, so you're invited over to somebody's house, making a mess and not cleaning up. Now, it depends what your definition of a mess is. Obviously, trashing someone's house is terrible. But if you're at any function, you're going to make a mess with plates or empty cups. Where's the line between stepping in and let me do the dishes for you versus somebody who's like, no, you're a guest. Like, I got it. Of course you make a mess. I'll clean up later.
It's a tough one, dude. I think that, again, if I'm coming over to your house once every 3 months and we're doing dinner, I'll always offer to help, but I completely respect. Sometimes I don't want help. Like, you're a guest here. I want to take care of this. I know where everything goes. Like, you just relax. But like my mom, we have dinner with her once a week. We always help with the dishes because it's like a weekly event, But yeah, if I'm just coming over once in a while, like, I think it's nice to offer. But most of the time, people I know are being like, "Oh, relax, dude. You're a guest here. Relax."
That's what I would default towards.
Yeah.
So you get credit just for offering. I don't actually want you cleaning my house, but you're right. It's nice that you at least offered.
Yeah. No, I think that it's nice to offer. And then if you say, "Yeah, you can help me with the dishes or whatever," I'll help. I don't mind.
Right. Where do you draw the line, though? Like, do you want a back rub? Can I put an extra coat of paint on the garage for you?
Can you vacuum the living room while you're at it?
Right. That's the funny thing. What do you do when you're making a nice gesture? Like, oh, can I do the dishes? And then they're like, yes, please do. I'm going to sit down and enjoy. Like, I didn't really actually want to do all the dishes. Jesus.
That's what we call a lesson learned. I'll never ask again.
Here's a tricky one. Overstaying your welcome, extending your visit beyond the agreed upon time, it says. But when you're inviting someone over, I mean, maybe it's for a football game. When the game's over, let's wind this down. But otherwise, I never tell people, like, we're having a dinner party from 5 o'clock to 9:30. Like, get your ass out of here at 9:30,
It's funny, dude. I always wonder, usually I think if you're self-aware, you can kind of get the vibe of like, this is wrapping up, With my sister, They go to bed so early, dude, that I have started to extend my stays because I'm so annoyed with the fact that they go to bed so early. So,
Forcing them to stay up.
right, yeah. I know that they like to start winding down by 8 and in bed sharp by 8:30, teeth
No,
brushed.
really?
Yes, Brewski. And that's
When did-
ridiculous.
When did your sister celebrate her 65th birthday?
Right? And so when I'm over there, you have me come over at 6. You know, we're having dinner or whatever. I'm not bailing at 8 on the dot. You know, sometimes I'm going to push it a little bit, but most of the time I know, this is wrapping up. We should probably, start to make our way out.
I think you can read the room when there's more people there, but what if it's just you invited a friend over? How do you know then when the night's wrapping up? It's just the two of you.
Well, again, you got to be self-aware, dude. Like, if you start noticing your host do things that aren't necessarily things that they do while company's over, like,
Yawning.
I'll be right. I got to go brush my teeth, or I got to let the dog out. I got to, get my medication. Like, okay, I should probably wrap this up. He's needs to get some shit taken care of.
Are you afraid to say that kind of thing though? Like, all right, man, like, I'm thinking I'm going to start getting ready for bed now. Like, I'll say that kind of thing.
For sure, dude. Yeah, I think, like I said, with us three, like, I know you're not going to be offended by it. Like, I'm tired, dude. It's been nice having you. My dad used to say, now get the hell out of here. He used to tell people that all the time. Like, it was nice having you over. Now get the hell out of here.
Yeah, I've also experienced the opposite problem where the host keeps extending the evening. And I would like to leave already, but now it's like, now we're going to play charades. Oh, now coffee for everyone. And there was a story once. I was, Jamie and I, my ex-wife, she never let me off the hook for this one. We were at another couple invited us out to a dinner, and there was 3 couples total, but really the one couple had invited us and they were paying the bill and all that stuff. And so we're at this restaurant, and first of all, we chatted forever before we got appetizers or drink, and then dinner finally came. Then they ordered dessert, and I'm just sitting there like antsy in my seat. We've now been at this restaurant for like 3.5 hours. Woo! That is beyond my limits. I need breather. I need to step away at some point. But yeah, I just kept thinking, like, all right, dessert. Finally, this is it. So I swear to God, the waiter came over after the dessert and was like, does anyone want coffee? And all of the people at the table were like, yes, let's get some coffee. I snapped. I stood up. I was like, I can't do this anymore. We have got to go. Like, enough's enough already. Thank you for inviting us, Jamie. Let's get out of here. Like, I was at my freaking limit, and I mortified her. She was so embarrassed, but I couldn't.
Wow. Dude, that's hysterical. I would have been mortified too. Like, dude, come on, put in the extra 20 and be like, I'll start saying stuff like, we probably better be heading out. We got to head out pretty soon. I always blame it on, I got a dog. So I'm like, I got to get home and let the dog out. I better get rolling.
Well, that was part of my comeback to Jamie that night of like, you saw me eyeballing you. You saw me gesturing. Like, why didn't you help me? Why didn't you help wrap this up? Why did you wait until I was at my freaking limit and had to explode at a restaurant? No one's having coffee. We're getting out of here. Like,
that's hysterical, dude. You know they talk shit about you. Behind your back, right?
They all stayed as I stormed out of there with Jamie. So
Steve's crazy.
Holy crap.
That's nuts. Dan and Terry this is the only people I know that do this, and they've done it to me several times. Dan Stewart is a guy that can party for 20 hours or sometimes just 1, and he's good, and you never know where he is.
Right.
Yeah.
So they'll have us come over for dinner, and this is where I learned about a thing called an Irish goodbye. There's been so many times where Rachel and I have been sitting in their living room, and like one of them will get up to go to the bathroom and never come back. And then the other one at some point will get up to go get a drink or whatever and never come back. And we've just been sitting in the living room by ourselves, and we're like, are they going to come? Where are they?
That's hilarious.
And we
I've
just
never
let ourselves out. That's crazy, right?
That is, but that's a good little trick. I may have to start doing that. Just, I'm out.
I am the king of the Irish goodbye, and it used to drive Jen crazy. We can't just leave. Well, why not?
I mean, if you're at a party with someone else and there's multiple people there, I've definitely snuck out. But if you're hosting the party and you leave people
No.
alone,
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's different.
that's great.
I told them the first time they did it, I came over. The next time I was like, we need to address something here. It's the elephant in the room. Like last time we were here, like you guys just went to bed and we just left us sitting here under the pretense, oh, I'm going to grab something to drink. I'll be right back. And went to bed. I was like, not okay.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to go to bed, like tell me and escort me out,
Right. What did they say?
That's when she was like, oh, the old Irish goodbye. There's no one better at it than we are. I was like, so you meant to do that? And she was like, I don't know that we meant to do that, but sometimes you have a little too much to drink and that bed starts calling and you want it,
That's hilarious. It would be one thing if you were like, I passed out drunk in the bathroom while I was taking a leak. Sorry. Or I just needed to ravage my wife so badly we just snuck away and we're banging. Like I would give you maybe some credit for that, but just disappearing and going to bed, that's great.
Dude, that first time we're just sitting there looking at each other like, where are they? Like, I don't know.
Should we leave?
Right? Should we just leave? They will lock up. I mean, what do we do here?
Right. Then you feel rude. Like, should I just leave without saying anything?
Yeah.
So funny.
You're like walking down the hall slightly yelling, hey, we're going to go now.
Right, dude. I think that's exactly what we did. Thank you, guys. We'll see ya.
Wow.
Oh,
well, speaking of
amazing.
helping yourself, the next thing on the list here is going into somebody's fridge to see if they got drinks or food or whatever else. Like, to me, that's comfort level with someone. Like, I don't even know, Nick. If I was at your house, I don't even think I would go into your fridge unless I'd been there for days at a time or something.
Yeah, you're more than welcome to. Either of you are. But I'm kind of the same way. I think the last time I was at your house, in the morning, I went into your fridge to get something to put in my coffee just because you had told me it was there.
Yeah,
but
you were staying here. That's a little different than inviting you for a dinner party.
Yeah. I wouldn't go in there and just start picking through someone's fridge. That's, I do that at my mom's house, but I don't think I would do it with a friend. I'm not Seinfeld friends with anybody where I could just start eating cereal or something, Yeah.
Have you ever thrown a friend under the bus? Because I had a friend growing up that would do this crap to me all the time. He would go to his mom and be like, hey, Mom, Steve's hungry. Can you make us some sandwiches or bring us some lemonade? I'm like, I'm not hungry. He's like, no, I know. I don't want to ask, though. So I'm like,
so funny, dude. I remember that shit being in grade school. Steve's hungry. Yeah, that's funny, dude.
I could see even being at a couple's dinner where I'm like, oh, my wife really wants a glass of white wine. Do you have any white wine here? Like, I didn't ask you for that. Like, no, I'm just using you as a prop. Thank you.
I'd like to have some.
All right. Etiquette things that you're not supposed to be doing when you go over to somebody else's house. Let's see here. I mean, come on. This is outrageous. Smoking inside somebody's house without asking for permission. Nick, in a zillion years as a smoker, would you light up inside someone's home? This is in the 1960s.
Dude, never. You know what? Smoking is so shamed that I sometimes I go off the people's property to smoke, especially like when I used to stay with you and your kids were real small, like I would always go down to the bottom of the driveway and kind of hide to smoke a cigarette. No, I would never smoke in someone's house. That's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Yes, I think it is crazy. That'd be like, let me just mix some chemicals in your house. I'm going to burn some sulfur here.
You mind if I shit on the floor real quick?
Right.
Well, now, smoking cigarettes, well, what if there's other things you're smoking?
Well, that I'll do inside, but only with the host's blessing, if that's a communal thing. And if everyone's participating, if you're ever at one of these couples things where, that couple smokes pot, but the other four don't, like you don't sit there and pass it around in front of them. That's when you do the wink and nod, like, hey, dude, let's meet me at the bottom of the driveway. Let's
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know about this one. Ignoring invitations or directives. Choosing not to participate in planned activities or meals without a valid reason can seem rude. So what does that mean? Like if I'm having you over for a cornhole party or something, or a badminton party, like if I don't want to play tennis or badminton with you?
Yeah, I suppose. I don't know. I mean, these are all weird things. Maybe if I showed up at like Rachel's boss's, house, I'll play the cornhole or whatever. But if I don't want to play and I'm over at one of your houses, and you're having a party, I'll just be like, I'll come over. I'm not going to play cornhole, but I'll come over. Give you the option.
I guess it depends what the setup is. If it's a Super Bowl party and you're not going to watch the game, like that seems a little rude to me.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, if if you're having a party for a certain thing like the Super Bowl, I'm going over knowing, and that would be rude for me to sit in your other living room and play on my phone or whatever.
Right. I think Brewski's been to some cornhole parties based on some of the clubs you've talked about.
Glory hole.
I have been. Yeah, exactly. And you got to find the right one, and you got to make sure that there are no rough edges on the glory hole before you start peeking through with the penis and that sort of thing.
Right.
Sure.
But I did get invited once with Jen to this barbecue at one of her friends' houses, parents' house in Gig Harbor. Very nice house. Like it was an estate actually, and it was a croquet party too.
Ooh.
And I told them, listen, the last time I played croquet, I might have been 12 or 13 years old. And it was a game they were introducing us at Park Recreation. And some of the kids decided to start swinging the mallets at each other. And so that put an end to the game that day. So I really wasn't all that interested in playing or anything like that. But I did because I knew I'd be in a lot of trouble if I didn't.
Here's a conversation that I don't know if you guys can help me out with. Is it appropriate if I have you to my home? Okay, you're staying for a week or the weekend or whatever. You're here with your wife or your girlfriend. Is it okay to have sex at my house while you're staying?
Yes. The answer is always yes to that in any scenario.
Okay, wait. If it's in a guest bedroom, yes. My bed, no.
Oh, okay. Okay. What? Well, let's differentiate that, Harness. No,
it's still fine. It's still fine. If you've given me your bedroom to stay in, yeah. I'd be embarrassed and ashamed if you didn't go take full advantage in there. So.
Okay, you know what though? I will refer to Frank Costanza when will say, I leave for 4 days and you turn our bedroom into Bourbon Street.
Yeah. I feel relieved, okay, because that's been riding on my back for a long time because you did give me your bed and I had sex in your bed and I was thinking, I wonder if I should not have had sex in this bed. I wonder if that was
I was literally just going to ask you that, so I appreciate the confession. I would feel bad if you didn't. I gave you my master bedroom in the Tahoe home. Yeah, have fun. You're on vacation.
You're going to change the sheets after I leave no matter what?
Exactly.
Maybe.
Well, that's on me. If I didn't change the sheets beforehand or afterwards, that's my fault. But
that's right.
As you know, I have a waterproof mattress cover, so have at it, man.
Yeah, enjoy yourself. I thought that'd be the answer.
Of course. Let me just do this one quickly. Would you ever change somebody's thermostat? Again, if you're staying there, it may be different. But if you're over for
not even then.
Right.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Some of these things are just an automatic disqualifier.
Yeah. These will get you banned from coming back over. You know what I mean?
The last one I'll throw out here because I think this is, I don't know. I've had this conundrum before. Leaving a mess in somebody's bathroom, quote unquote. Now, what do you do if you're over for a dinner party and you go destroy somebody's bathroom with explosive diarrhea or something? Like, what effort do you make to clean up after or, air the place out? Like, where's the line on that?
I've had it happen, dude. Well, I'll tell you the amount. 100. 100%. I don't leave until whatever I've done, you couldn't tell.
Yeah.
What if there's no toilet bowl scrubber or something in there? How much effort are you putting in?
A lot. I'll figure it out, dude, because I would want people to do the same for me. I don't want some rando shit splattering all over my bathroom and not cleaning it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. This is like Jeff Daniels in Dumb and Dumber when he's got the explosive diarrhea in there.
Yeah.
I just need another minute. Just a minute, please.
Well, to this point, this is the story I was going to share with you guys about this. A friend of mine receive a furniture delivery. One of them asked, "Hey, you mind if I use your bathroom?" And my friend, being polite, was like, "Oh, go right ahead. It's just right over there." And this dude blew up the bathroom. Like my friend was like, I couldn't believe it. That door opened after about 20 minutes and it just wafted out as the dude comes walking out, like just kind of like fixing his shirt and everything. All right, thanks a lot. And he's like walking out the door and he said, just ruined my bathroom.
I think it's implied that if you ask someone, I'm going to use your bathroom, like you're taking a leak, you can't go in there and take a dump.
You can take a dump if you want. Not as a service person. If you have to poo, I'd rather have you go to the bathroom but leave it as you found it. Pack it in, pack it out. All right. Listen,
I have been in a situation before where I've used the last of the toilet paper. Do you then go out and ask, like, hey, by the way, like, where do you keep your toilet paper at? Because I just went through it all.
Listen, a proper. Whenever someone's coming to my house, I stock the bathroom with toilet paper. I don't want you to have to ask because it's embarrassing, right?
Yeah.
Right. But you're a good host. But what would you do if there was no obvious supply? Do you point it out or wait for the next person in?
What if there's a woman that goes in there? What's she going to do? Drip dry? I mean, really?
So you ask? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I would say to the host, "Hey, listen, I just use the bathroom and I know, and I use the last of the paper on the roll. I didn't see any around. Do you have
I was wiping my butthole and I used all the toilet paper.
I was taking a huge shit in your bathroom and noticed you're out. And I don't want anyone to have to go through what I just went through.
Right.
I had to use my shirt. So there you go.
What if there is no ventilation or bathroom window? Because for some reason in California, it is not required to have fans in all the bathrooms if there's a window. So what do you do if you stink the place up and there's no Febreze or whatever in there? You just sit there and air it out as long as you can?
Yeah, exactly.
Light a match.
That's when I look in I'll look in your medicine cabinet, maybe spray some hairspray,
Yes.
something, right?
Well, now you're snooping, though. Now you're breaking the other rule. Stop snooping through my cabinets.
Well, but
Somebody go in there and be like, why are you spraying my Aquanet? What the hell?
but in that case there, though, you're not really snooping because you're trying to remedy a problem.
Yeah, you're being resourceful at that point.
Yes, exactly.
Let me ask you guys how you'd handle this quickly, all right? I have somebody that I know that every time they come to my house, I notice that they leave a poop stain on my toilet seat, like on the back. Like, I don't know if they're sitting too far back or too far forward, but just like on the very back round of the toilet seat, there's every time a tiny little brown stain. And I'll tell you what, I would much rather clean the inside of the toilet with a brush than have to wipe, spray and wipe and clean the toilet seat after you. And sometimes this person stays for a couple of days. And I have to do it multiple times while they're there. They have a bathroom they could use down by their bedroom they're staying at, but this is in the collective bathroom that people use.
Right. Well, so they can't be taking a dump every time, right? So this is just somebody with terrible hygiene, apparently, right?
Never thought about that. Maybe that's right. Maybe that is what it is.
Yee. I don't know what to tell you there. That's impossible to bring up to somebody. I mean, maybe just leave Clorox wipes next to the toilet from now on.
maybe put a pair of gloves. I have a pair of rubber gloves I put in under my bathroom sink in the cabinet there, so that when I'm cleaning the toilet, I can put gloves on, because sometimes you got to go reaching in, kind of deep and all that sort of thing. Sure. Yeah, so maybe some gloves and some wipes, like Steve said.
Yeah, that person's got a bigger issue going on if they just have poo crack happening constantly. So,
well, we started the show today with maybe you'll learn some things about me you don't want to know and that you can unsee. Right. That's one of these things where this person, I care about him and like him a whole bunch, but every time I see him, I'm like, oh, God, I wonder if your butt's full of poo right now. And will it end up on my toilet seat?
Right. Is this a person that's aware of our podcast?
Yeah.
Well,
Maybe that's the solution, right?
well, they could either be listening to this right now and figure it out, but I was going to recommend, we did a whole episode about bidets and cleaning up properly. Maybe just tell them, like, hey, episode 112, you should give it a listen.
I think you'll love it. Right? Yeah,
Right.
that's a good idea.
All right. I still feel good about inviting you guys over to my house, so none of us have done anything too egregious.
We're all out of sight.
Out of sight.
Yeah. Certified
And out of time.
Out of sight. Out of time, out of sight. Hey, thanks for listening to this podcast. This podcast is The Vocal Minority with Nick and Steve Brewski. We do them bi-weekly, and we'll see you next week for sure. Will you be here?
I'll be here.
I'll be here.
Perfect. We got
I'm
a
just
show then.
online, thevocalminority.net. We're on any social media site that matters, and you can call and leave a comment for us now using a telephone as a microphone.
Bam.
Bam, baby. It's 844-48-VOCAL. Give us a call.
All right, Brewski, you know what to do.
Goodbye.
And we say bye-bye.
Test 1 2, test 1 2.
Stop.